Hey, it's Jenn and Tab here from Kinship Cultivated, and we're doing our first interview today. We are so thrilled. And the series is called A Glimpse of Goodness.
And we have our first guest ever, Jenn Daigle. She's a photographer, a family portrait photographer, and she is our dear friend that we hired 5 years ago when we hired our graphic designer. And I found her through her, and we totally hit it off. Mm-hmm. Then I referred her to Tabitha for Tabitha's apparel line for a kids clothing company. And then all three of us became friends separately together. And now she's done our photo shoot for Kinship Cultivated. And a lot of people have been asking who's our photographer, and we want to introduce her to you because she's got a heart of gold. She recently changed her business to giving back part of the proceeds to a nonprofit. So we want you to hear more about her. So welcome.
Thank you. I'm so
That's a good practice.
It's like an election. Thank you. To my opponents.
Yes, of goodness.
Do I look into the camera? No, right?
We have to, yeah. Because you're talking to them.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Hi.
We're talking to you.
Hey.
Okay. Hey, it's Jenn and Tab here from Kinship.
Oh, wait.
I know, I'm just practicing.
Hold on. Oh crap, this is recording. It is. Outtakes.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
And I hate like being this girl, but
tell me.
it's Daigle.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, Daigle. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So just think of bagel.
Bagel, thank you.
The long-term goal is to retire with a bagel shop called Daigle's Bagels.
I love it.
Yes. Can you please say that?
Can you make it gluten-free?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay, wait, we need to save all that.
Okay. I know. No more talking.
Okay.
Serious business now.
Mm-hmm. And now she gets to be here and share more of her story. And so we want to welcome her. Thanks for coming.
Oh, thanks, guys. This is so exciting. And I just have to say thank you for asking me. I'm very humbled and just really honored to be here. And you guys are amazing, and you both know that. I love you both very much.
We're humbled.
Oh, my gosh. So, yeah, I'm just really excited to be here and just share my heart with you guys. A little bit about my story. I know they were asking me to share that gosh, I don't even know where to start other than a background of photography has taken me to many places, starting out since I was a kid. I remember being 11 years old and telling my parents I wanted to be a photographer, and they really instilled a lot of confidence in that for me and gave me a lot of opportunities. My mom opened up doors for me to get into an internship at 15, and I was out filming people's wedding videos. Oh my gosh. Yeah, but by the time I was 15 years old, it was crazy. Filming and editing people's wedding videos. And yeah, it's crazy. And the next thing you know, through that, I met multiple photographers and landed a job working for a really popular photographer. And that relationship taught me a lot. And unfortunately, it ended in kind of a really sketchy situation where I thought I could trust this man and learned that I couldn't. And got into a situation where I had to get out of there and not work for him very longer. And so that was a really defining moment in my life, having just turned 18 and already being, I guess you would say, victimized, you know? And I left and cried about it for a couple weeks, and then just realized, you know what? It's time to start my own business. You know, I don't want to work for anybody else. You know,
18?
At 18 years old.
That's amazing.
Wow.
So, you know, that experience was a catalyst for me starting my own photography business and just really putting myself out there. And my parents would come in my bedroom at like 4 a.m. They'd be like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm building my website. I'm learning how to write code right now," you know? And it was crazy because I built my own website and it was awful. Weren't they all back then?
Yeah.
Seriously. And I reached out to female photographers, a whole bunch of female photographers, to look for someone that could essentially be a mentor to me. And I found a woman named Vanessa, and she's a dear friend today. And I was probably an associate photographer for her for about like 8 years. Wow. And I was married at the time. I got married at 21 years old, and my college sweetheart and I, and my business essentially at that point was just an added extra thing to our life. It wasn't necessarily something that I was pursuing full force. That income that would come through my business was like, okay, let's go on a vacation, or let's do something fun with it. But after 5 years of marriage, we actually split up. I went through a divorce at 26 years old and found myself living in Hollywood with a roommate, and literally making like $900 a month.
Oh, wow.
And it was a really scary time, but I have always been independent and a go-getter and a fighter, and just through that experience had to literally start over and start from scratch, and started building my clientele through that, just venturing out into different opportunities, different types of photography. So now I would consider myself a lifestyle photographer, but it's just such a broad, I shoot so many different things, stuff like, shooting Tab and Jenn's families, but then also doing things with like Kinship Cultivated, which is so amazing.
Yay.
Oh man.
I sent her wedding footage from my wedding, and she edited the whole thing and made the cutest little video for me. So you are a girl of many trades. I forgot about that. A Jill of many trades.
Yeah, so photography has definitely opened up so many doors, taken me many places. And, most recently, 4 years, it's been 4 years since my divorce, 4 years of literally taking care of myself. I don't believe that I've done this fully on my own. I've had so much support along the way, but, being able to live on my own and provide for myself through the means of photography is pretty amazing. And,
yeah, wow.
I think the biggest thing that has helped me through that was just being open to trying new things and being adaptable. And when someone offered me an opportunity, it wasn't a response of like, oh, I don't do that. It was more of like, yes, and then I'll figure out how.
Awesome.
Wow.
So just kind of throwing myself into different situations and just being open to try new things. And, gosh, 11 years went by operating under, Jennifer Daigle Photography, and really not having a brand established, but just being open to so many different types of photography. I recently was in New York visiting a friend, and he was raising funds for a hospital out there and running the marathon. And he raised almost $30,000 for these children.
Gosh.
Wow.
And he invited me to come and just see, the work that this hospital does. And I just, became so inspired. That trip inspired me in a way I've never been inspired before. And I came home, and I was in downtown LA, and I was walking by the Giving Keys, and I purchased a necklace, and I'm actually wearing it today.
Oh,
Yeah.
how
And
awesome.
My words inspire. And
I love that.
Love that.
and as I was driving home on the 10 freeway, I was just like, I need to make this, my company, something that gives back, and something that spreads awareness for giving back, because I just realized like there's so much that we can do. There's so much that each and every one of us can do, whether it's donating our time, donating our talent, donating our resources. And so I just decided, for this year, and I'm hoping to increase it by 2020, but 10% of every purchase is going towards a charity or fund of some sort that, that my heart cares for,
That is so awesome.
So really
That's
excited.
incredible.
And what kind of a hospital was it?
It was called, the hospital is Bellevue Hospital, and they're actually a nonprofit hospital.
Oh, that's awesome.
So they work solely off of donations, which is
Wow.
pretty incredible.
Wow, that is really incredible.
Yeah.
That's so awesome.
Just meeting the women there that like dedicate their lives. They give so much of their time and their energy to these children and families. And it was just,
Changed you.
yeah, it was life-changing. It was a life-changing experience. And so that's how my company transformed into Capturing Heart. And we're all about telling stories of people that, just everyday average people that make incredible decisions.
Oh, that gives me the chills. It's so beautiful.
And I love how you mentioned on your blog you just wrote that like you're capturing heart with the families too, and then you're giving back. I just loved that. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, I'm giving families the opportunity to not only capture the memories that they want captured, but they also get to invest into other families with their purchase, And so that, I think, is something that's really important to me, is giving my clients the ability to do that.
That's great.
That's so cool.
Okay, so the point of having you here today is we are trying to share just women, their aha moments from any walk of life, but just something you wish you knew back, you could have told yourself a few years ago, or something that just changed. You came to that crossroads and changed. So we're calling it a glimpse of goodness, and we would love to know what your glimpse of goodness is that you could pass on to somebody.
Oh man, very easy actually. It's not about me. And I'll explain what I mean. A few years ago, I was with a girlfriend, and it was probably one of the darkest seasons of my life. It was actually right after I went through the divorce, and just really looking at myself in the mirror and not liking what I was seeing, not only externally, but internally, and just kind of being extremely introspective to a fault. And she was just thanking me so much for how strong I was, how much of an example I was to her, and just expressing her gratitude for my role in her life. And in my head, I'm like laughing out loud going, oh my God, if she only knew. But then I had an epiphany, and it was like, oh my gosh, it's not about me. It's about what I can do for others. And now I don't mean for that to sound like we have to live these selfless lives where we don't take care of ourselves, because that can get a little scary, when you don't take time to pour into yourself. I think we have to first take care of ourselves, just like eating right, and if you'll get those results physically, you have to input into your mind, into your spirit, into your soul, so that you can give out the best to others as well. But just realizing that my life is best served when it's in the service of others and adding value to others and giving back to other people. And so that's how I live now. And what's so great about that is I came from playing the role of a victim most of my life. I mean, I had like the tiniest little violin on my shoulder ready to go.
I never saw that from you.
I didn't either.
After all these years.
I would have never thought that.
Yeah. It's true though. I just always, I think, looking back, it's embarrassing because I feel like I would take every opportunity to express what was going on with me. When I was sick, I wanted to tell people, when something difficult in my marriage came up, I wanted to tell somebody. And, and I'm not saying that we need to throw our problems under the rug, deal with them in a healthy manner, but, just understanding that everything we go through is something that we can grow through. And if you choose to look at it as like growth, then understanding having the right perspective, knowing, okay, I'm going through this to grow through it so I can help somebody else get through it in the long run.
Wow.
Love that.
That's beautiful.
Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah,
That's
thank
so
you for
much
sharing
wisdom.
that. So, one other question we want to ask is, when it comes to having meaningful friendships, what do you do to foster those relationships?
Right. Well, my circle is small, which I love, but they're very, very meaningful relationships. And what I do, just a couple things. First, I just had a FaceTime date with someone the other day that I'm very close with, but she lives, across the country.
It's funny, I forget to use FaceTime all the time.
Yes.
That is so awesome.
It's fun too, because you have the ability to just really stop, because when you're on the phone, it's on your ear and you can be running around doing things. But with FaceTime, it was like I was just sitting on my bed, like as if she was there, So that was really cool. And then another thing that I do, because I, am running a business and have a lot going on, I can't remember everything. If my girlfriends know one thing about me is that I can't remember anything, you know, it's terrible. And so they look at my calendar and they're like, oh my God. And I'm like, I have to write everything down or things won't get done. I am a massive user of like the apps on the iPhone for reminders. And so like just the other day, a girlfriend of mine, we were texting and she just expressing some stress with the relationship she's in, and just was worried about her. So I put a reminder in my phone that night, check on her in the morning,
Wow.
And so woke up at 10 a.m., got that reminder, texted her, and it's like, hey, how are you doing today? Like, how's everything going? And, it's just, I want my friends to know that I care. And I think it's not just children, that quote, like children spell love T-I-M-E. I think everyone spells love T-I-M-E,
Yeah.
and love being just to be thought of, like, wow, they thought of me, so.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. So aside from all seriousness, what do you like to do for fun?
Many things. But right now, the biggest change or thing that I've been investing a lot of my time into is actually writing music, which has been just a new venture.
Love it.
Yeah, really excited. So, I keep myself very busy with work, and I am on a personal growth journey. I take time to read and study and like grow myself. But the one thing that I'm like itching to do every single day is like run to my piano. And so that has been such an incredible creative like release for me lately. And then also I'm obsessed with salsa dancing. So
Yes.
okay, Kinship Cultivated salsa dancing nights needs
Oh
to
my
happen.
gosh, we need to do that.
Me too. I used to go
Yes.
every Thursday night in San Diego in
Oh
college.
my God. There's
Oh, yes.
I love this spot in Hollywood. It's called El Floridita, and they have a little live Cuban salsa band, and it's a small little place, and it's just great because you go and the people that go there and like know how to dance. So you're always challenged, and it's inspired, and it's so funny. Anytime anybody sees me dancing that maybe hasn't seen me dance before, they're like, "You're so happy," and I'm like, "It's like my happiest moment is when I'm dancing."
Oh.
So
I love it. I'm so,
So
happy
much
to
fun.
hear that.
Yes.
Well, I'm so glad you came to share all this. I think
Yes.
it's amazing that we had to catch up this way over
Yeah.
doing this interview because we've been trying to go to Bottega Louie for the last, I think, year and a half, the three of us.
I know.
But thank you so much. Everything you said, it's so in line with what is going on in our hearts right now, too, to learn how to give back, and it's not about us. So I think that's amazing. We all have the same aha moment recently.
Yes.
And just what you said about if you're going through something, you've got to, what did you phrase that?
Yeah, just saying if it's all about perspective. I think I used to live with the mindset of a victim mentality. I'm going through something. Why am I going through this? Why me? And instead of having that mindset, it's like, you know what? This is life. So normalizing the struggle, I'm going through something, but I'm going to choose to grow through it, because at the end of the day, it's going to allow me my story of overcoming to help somebody else get through what they're going through.
I
Wow.
love it.
It's
so
beautiful.
You're awesome. Cheers.
Thank you
to
for joining us.
You guys are awesome.
Cheers.
My lips were quivering. What? My lips were quivering. I was like,
You were?
oh my gosh.
Okay, so one question we forgot to ask is tell us how people can connect with you, because you have 2 Instagrams.
Yes. So Capturing Heart is my photography page where you can connect with me there. And obviously the link to my website is in there. And I just recently started my blog, which is not going to be a heavy blog, essentially. It's just going to be left probably maybe a post once a month for the charities or the people that I'm supporting. I want to tell their story, you know?
So beautiful.
So
That's so
that's
cool.
really what the blog is going to be for, is to build awareness around what they're doing so that hopefully their story will inspire others to get involved, you know, to give back in any way. And then my personal Instagram is the Jennifer Daigle. And which could potentially be changing soon, but
Yes.
Because it's going to be a little bit more heavy with singer-songwriter stuff. So just kind of
Yay, that's
diving
exciting.
into that. Yeah,
it.
exploring that whole arena of just creativity for fun. So I'd love to be connected with anyone that's connected with Kinship Cultivated and these two ladies. So,
well, part of our goal of doing this was we want anyone who's watching to feel like they've already heard enough about you where they could pick up a conversation and grow that friendship with you,
right,
professionally or for, you know, just as a girlfriend or whatever. So I'm hoping that this gave you enough about Jenn so you know that she's an awesome woman with a heart of gold like we promised.
Yes, she is.
And
absolutely.
that you've seen that today. So we're so thankful that you're here.
Yeah, thank you,
so
Jenn.
much.
so thankful for what you guys are doing, and everyone needs community, you know,
Yes.
so
Yeah.
Kinship Cultivated is bringing people together, and that's amazing.
Love it. Thanks. Okay, is it really done?
Yeah.